There's a crazy clip from Pokimane's stream going viral right now that I really want to talk about, but it also made me want to speak on a story I've never told about an experience I've had that's somewhat similar to the one she describes here, at least
Okay.
in terms of creepiness. And, well, now I finally have a reason to get that baby off my chest here, so that's gonna be cathartic. Let's dive in.
Many, many years ago, when I was like super omega
Oh,
active on YouTube and I was working with a lot of different editors, there was one editor in
okay.
particular that I would
Okay, so we just seen like one part of it. Okay, we just seen one part of it. It was a longer clip. Okay.
work with a lot because his edits were really, really good. But he had one major problem, which was that sometimes out of nowhere, his videos would just be like a week or two late. Months go by, and he messages me out of the blue and he says, "Hey, do you have time to talk? I'm ready to finally tell you why I've been struggling so much with deadlines."
In the history of the human race, I don't think there has ever been a good ending to the sentence, hey, do you have a minute to talk?
I ain't gonna lie, I was thinking the same thing because it's either gonna be some real serious shit to where you don't even know what to say, or it's just gonna be some wild shit. Like it was some wild shit. So it's only two ways that conversation can go right there.
That always precedes the most vile shit you'll ever hear in your life. I can't even imagine a situation where you'd hear that sentence and think anything other than the most negative thing you'll ever hear is about to happen. Like, imagine you're in heaven and the Lord pulls you aside right in front of the pearly gates and he says, hey, you got a minute to talk? Well, you immediately assume you're just going to hell.
No, I don't want to talk to you. We is not talking. No, 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 no. I
Hell.
don't want to talk to
Like,
you.
there's just no world where that sentence ever precedes good news.
Tell me why he proceeds to tell me that the reason why he would sometimes turn around videos a week or two late is because he couldn't stop touching himself. I was trying to pick which word to use.
Like, how your addiction so strong? Like, bruh, how is your addiction so strong that you saying you putting out videos late? Like, and the thing is, it's gonna be some weird shit. Like, it's gonna be fucking Pokimane. He was probably just beating off the Pokimane. He wasn't using no real porn or nothing. He was just beating off the Pokimane. Is probably what it is, which is even weirder, bro. Cause she ain't doing nothing wild for you to be like, oh yeah, this some good shit. Like, come on now.
To me, his, in a way, employer of many, many months.
Stop for a second and really let that stew in your noodle. Let it marinate for a bit. How Coomer brained must you be not only to do this degenerate act of just fucking beating your meat to a streamer's gameplay footage that you're editing?
Like, and another thing, like, bruh, imagine, like, bruh, at some point, it's nothing left. How is that even getting you excited again, bro? Like, how is you excited by that? It's nothing there. Well, you got a hell of imagination. I don't understand. I ain't that down bad. I don't I don't even understand how you can do that.
But then tell her that the reason you're late on some of the edits is because you can't stop squeezing your hog to the footage that she sends you. There are so many layers to this onion here. Let's just start by picking apart the most obvious. Why? Now, I know in the most severe cases of porn addicts, they'll sometimes try and communicate directly to the porn star by like leaving comments or sending messages or whatever. And
Oh. Oh, so that's y'all. That's y'all. Okay, y'all leave comments on Pornhub and all that. That's y'all. Okay, yeah.
that's always the saddest shit you'll ever see. That'll bring a tear to even the strongest man's eyes. Occasionally, you'll see those moments where dudes try and directly communicate to the porn star, leaving comments on their posts saying things like, can't wait to watch this one when I'm off work, or when my wife goes to bed, that's when the bad boy will play. Thanks for providing me with tonight's entertainment, whatever. Like just leaving these.
I'm trying to think. What was a down bad? The only ones I could probably think of is when they were calling her beautiful and all that shit. Some weird shit like that. I can't even wrap my mind around. I can't even wrap my mind around fucking somebody leaving comments on fucking porn. It's wild. I'm not gonna lie, y'all boys was wilding doing that. Let's be real, y'all boys was wilding. Leaving comments on Pornhub and shit.
Desperate posts, cock in hand, giving a salute, like, thank you, madame, for your service. This will be a legendary gooning sesh. But even in those cases, they're communicating with someone they don't know.
Why? I don't play now. Why should you keep trying to play now? I don't play that shit.
No. This guy was her editor for many months.
Nah.
And he was not only jerking off to the content he was being sent, which was just gameplay videos, I imagine, or like just chatting stream moments, nothing even sexual, and he was still choking the chicken to it, fucking playing the skin flute, and then had the gall to tell her that he was doing that is just incomprehensibly unhinged. She was his boss. She was employing him. So he basically went right through HR, bypassed that protocol, went straight to the top of the food chain, kicked in the door, and said, "Listen, boss, I'm fucking obliterating my wiener, and what are you gonna do about it? That's why I've been late on my deadlines." Like, I don't think he came in with that energy. I bet he was like super shy about it. He was probably like,
But my thing is, why is you even telling her, bro? Like, come on now. Like that's some shit you keep to yourself. You don't go up to random people and be like, bro, I done beat my dick to you. Like, you know how to, bro, like, what? Like, I would think even at like a porn convention, that would be weird for a motherfucker just, I beat my dick to you. Like, bro, is you good? Is you good? Like, bro, they might call security on your ass if you tell them some shit like that.
"Oh, Pokimane, so I know I've been kind of late recently, but it's only because I was, ooh, how do you say, jerking off to your work."
When I tell you I've never halted a conversation so fast, because I'm like, you are the person that I send like hours of footage to. I don't want to know what you're jacking it to. I don't want to know more. I shouldn't even know how much I know right now. I shouldn't know.
I'd actually argue that it's better she did know this, no matter how awful it is, but that way she can get the fuck away from this weirdo ASAP. Just say,
I mean, yeah, on that point, but like, nah, I ain't gonna lie. Cause like, somebody that down bad, it's not gonna stop nothing. Just cause you know and don't know, it's not gonna stop nothing. He still gonna consume her content and beat his dick to it. It's what's crazy. Ain't nothing gonna change with him telling her that. Nothing gonna change. But let's be real, it's a lot of people that do that to Pokemon. Let's be real. I done seen a lot of shit about Pokimane and Valkyrie and all like female streamers. Niggas is weird. Niggas in them chats be weird as hell. Like they really just be beating they meat to them. Like, and you know it. They know it. The streamers know it. They just don't want to acknowledge it. But like, let's be real. A lot of them just be beating y'all dick. They dick to
"Hey,
them.
take a hike, Buster. This is fucking terrible."
But I felt so bad. So when he's like, like this is like an addiction of mine, I genuinely felt really, really bad. So I still paid him for months. What the hell do I do? Fire him?
Yeah.
Am I even allowed to fire someone because they're...
That's definitely towards the top of the list for the best reasons to fire someone. That actually might be reason number one why you could go ahead and can somebody. Because they can't stop fucking beating their cock to you, their employer. And they're also not doing their job well by being 1 to 2 weeks late. Which, by the way, is a long time of just fucking gooning here. This degenerate would miss his deadlines by a week or even up to 2 weeks because he was obsessively polishing his scepter to his employer.
Like,
he 100% can't.
Like when you think about it, that's a long fucking time. A week of beating your dick, beating your meat. I'm just trying to think, like, if you bust a nut, like, how many nuts is you busting every day? Like, is you waking up just like, oh yeah, we finna get a good one going on today? It's crazy. I'm not gonna lie, that's a long time.
Can
That's a
and
long
should fire
time.
someone like this. It's not like the Better Business Bureau is going to defend him. You're not going to have agents show up at your door knocking and be like, hey, listen, we know what happened here. You discriminated against this kind, gentle sir. You fired him just because he was obsessively masturbating to you. Well, I'll have you know this is a free country, ma'am. This is a civilized society. You can't fire someone for that. There's no crime. What is the charge? Busting a nut? An immaculate, gooey nut? This is democracy manifest. Like that just wouldn't happen. But I actually understand why she was hesitant to do that. And this is where I'm going to get into a story I don't think I've ever told. I'm pretty sure I haven't. Where I had something somewhat similar happen a long time ago. Not to this level, but something closely related. So,
Don't tell me somebody will beating their meat to you too. It's crazy. I ain't gonna lie, that'd be wild as
a
hell.
while back, I used to just accept any voice acting role I was offered by any human being with a pulse on the planet. If they said they needed voice lines done, I would do them for free.
You need help. You need help. But we the first step of an addiction is admitting it. All I need you to do is take that first step. You know, take the first step. Say you're addicted. It's crazy.
Just because I really enjoyed
Take the
doing it.
first step.
It's actually how I met Jackson, and if you have ever watched the official podcast, you'll know that our X-Men origin story
See, I can't help you. I can't help you.
between Jackson and I's friendship is that Jackson actually scammed me through this
Yay! Why are you gay?
process. He sent me an
Why are you gay?
email asking if I'd be down to do voice work for his upcoming game, and then sent me like some in-game screenshots and promotional screenshots that were actually just Dark Souls images that he photoshopped to fit his game style that he tried to sell me on. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm definitely down to do voice work. And it turns out he never had that game. He just wanted to play games together, and we did. And
I ain't gonna lie, that's a little wild. A niggas, he made up an elaborate ass lie just to play games with Moist Critical. That's a little funny. I'm not gonna lie. That's a little funny. He made up an elaborate ass lie just to play games.
ended up becoming extremely close friends, and now we make God Slap together. Like, he's been a friend of mine for almost a decade now, and it came from that. But there's definitely a dark side to that. The Sith Lords definitely did exploit that very stupid thing I used to do, just accepting any voice acting roles ever from anybody. So, I think this was after I had met Jackson and after we were friends. I can't quite remember the exact chronological timeline here, but I received a very interesting email from a very peculiar man that, under any other circumstances, probably would have triggered red flags in a sensible person's mind. But for me, I saw the word like voice acting opportunity and I was like, I'm in. Say no more. So I emailed him back saying that I was absolutely down to do this and when should we get to work on it. So we communicated back and forth a little bit and eventually set up a Skype call because this is when Skype was still popular. I think one of the best.
Skype was still popping. This was, I ain't gonna lie. When the fuck was when the Skype stopped popping? This had to be like early. When is Skype still a business? I feel like they out of business. I feel like Skype was around when Uber was around. When people were still using Uber and all that. Bro, I ain't heard nobody say Uber is so low.
Best things
Bro.
that's
That's
happened in
wild.
modern day is that Skype has died. That was legitimately just like fucking official malware. That was the worst program that ever saw success, and I am embarrassed that it ever got as popular as it did. But this was a different time and day back then. So we went in Skype and we had our first voice call a couple days after that initial email came through. And it wasn't like super weird. He conducted himself pretty professionally. He was trying to tell me about the game. I don't remember all the details around it. It was a game that never was going to happen, though. It was unbelievably ambitious. It was some kind of like MMO hack and slash with like a super deep branching plot lines, all made by him, the solo dev.
Oh hell no. Oh, like that's some triple A studios shit type shit. Triple A games. I mean that's up for them. That ain't no single person type work.
He was just
Hell no.
spamming every buzzword he could about this game, but again, it didn't matter to me because it was voice acting work and I wanted to get the reps in. And so I just said, yeah, like I'm super on board. Let's stay in contact. You can send me the script and whatever else you need. And that was kind of the end of our like introductory call. And man, did I open Pandora's box. Pretty much immediately after that call, he would start messaging me on Skype often. And it wasn't about the project all the time. Sometimes it was just about his day, which I would engage with. I'd be like, oh, it's really interesting to hear about how your
Why the fuck do I care about what your day, how your day went? I don't know you. Why do I care about how your day went?
day's been going. Thanks so much for sharing. And then he'd start tiptoeing into like some other small talk. It started to feel like he was interrogating me sometimes, where he'd be like, so what'd you do today? And I'd tell him, be like, oh, so like, you didn't really respond earlier. I thought you were just doing something really important, but you were just hanging out at home. That's kind of weird. Like, what? Are you sure that's all you're doing? I was like, brother, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm just not like always on Skype. He's like, oh, that's fine. He just didn't respond to me. And then he'd start gradually asking more and more questions, like questions you would ask someone on like the most awkward first date imaginable if you were some kind of Reddit mod. He'd be like asking me certain things like about anime and just like general interests and shit. And this is right before I had graduated college. I was still in college because I remember he was asking me about how my schooling was going. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's going well. How's your project going? And he'd tell me some shit that I know wasn't happening. He's like, oh yeah, I got a lot of work done today on the game. I was in C sharp, really just fucking in my flow state. I took like the limitless pill, and man, I programmed fucking 15 trees, and I have.
That was a good movie right there. Limitless. Limitless was a good movie. OMG, Limitless don't get to deserve a need, but that was a good movie. The show was ass. Well, I ain't watched the show. I can't even say it was ass, but it was dumb. It was the concept of it was dumb. You got the limitless pill, but you just decide to solve murders, man. Get the fuck out of here. Get rich first. The fuck is you doing? This motherfucker solving murders with the limitless pill. Fuck out of here. Get rich.
I have 17 actors doing mocap for me, and they're all martial arts specialists, so the hack and slash animations are top notch. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. Do you have like that script or anything ready? He's like, oh, it's still being worked on. And then he just keep kicking that can down the road and change the topic of like, but enough about the game. Tell me about exercise physiology. What's that like? It's like, brother, you're not my mom. Like, why are you checking in like this? I don't care. And we're not really like close or anything. So why would you get upset if I don't like respond to you in a timely enough fashion? Like, it was just a disaster. So this went on for like a few weeks of this kind of stuff happening every couple of days, and I was ready to just wash my hands of it and just say, all right, this voice work isn't worth, I'm not getting the juice isn't worth the squeeze, as they say. So I kind of just started to let that peter out. I'd really very rarely respond to him, so he'd send me like a few messages over the course of like a week or two that I just would ignore. And then it got really bad. This guy was sending me like deep messages, and some of them just very unsettling. And then he eventually sent me a message talking about how he's about to end it all. And, he doesn't expect me to respond since I haven't responded in so long.
Hold on, what? Hold on, what? Am I tripping? What? I blanked that for a second. What?
This guy was sending me like deep messages, and some of them just very unsettling. And then he eventually sent me a message talking about how he's about to end it all. And, he doesn't expect me to respond since I haven't responded.
Man, he thought y'all was going out together. It's crazy. He thought you was gonna leave him for another person, another developer is crazy. This man say he already ended off because he wasn't responding. I'm not gonna lie, that is wild, bro. Like that's a new type of parasocial. That's parasocial, yeah. Because did he have his YouTube? I'm pretty sure he had his YouTube popping and all that by then. So it was probably some parasocial shit. Oh my
been
god,
so long, but he just wanted me to know how much our friendship meant to him and all.
friendship. What friendship? It's crazy. What friendship? You was trying to do voice acting. Why is that some friendship?
All that.
I never agreed to that. I never agreed to that.
And I fucking freaked out, immediately responded to that when I saw it, and
Oh.
then he once again.
This nigga say, but I did. Ah, shit. What you want and what you go get is two different things.
Again, just switched gears and was like talking about my day and his day and this and that, and once again just going down this small talk and then like interrogating me like, well, why haven't you been responding? So that I had to come up with a story like, oh, just haven't been checking Skype for the last few weeks, just stuff going on. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, no, okay, yeah, I'm sure, and then getting upset and whatever. I recommended him getting like professional help, which he claimed he was doing and seeking, but it wasn't really working.
Cap, he just wanted you to text him back. You should have said, do it. On G. I would be a horrible person to send that type of message to. I ain't gonna lie. On G. Like, I'm trying to think, how would I respond to a message somebody talk about they go in they self? Like, come on now. Get the fuck out of my DMs or some shit like that. Get out of my DMs with that bullshit. Shit, I might say, how you gonna do it? It's crazy.
The only thing that really
There ain't
helped
no way
him
you
was
in my DMs with that shit. Like, bro, get the fuck out of here. Same with when niggas and hoes do that shit too, when they say they go end it all over a female and all that. Like, bro, get the fuck out of here with that
our
shit.
little chit chats back and forth. So obviously, I kept that door open, and luckily, the frequency of his messages was much slower. So over the course of a few months now, the messages were far less often. So it wasn't that big of a deal, but it still just felt miserable to keep this communication open. It felt like a hostage situation where, like, if I didn't respond, he might do something, and it was scary. And as this continued for quite some time, he'd make threats occasionally of harming himself if I didn't.
Remember, I'm about to say long ways for show, short ways for show. For sure. For sure, for sure. Long ways is how you really do it. If you go do it.
Respond in like a fucking
That's that
speed run
bullshit.
fashion to one of his messages. When I got into a relationship, he sent a really creepy message about like, well, is it serious? Why is it serious? What do you see in her? That kind of thing. Like, it was all really alarming.
I'm not gonna lie. He thought y'all was going together.
Shit.
You was in a gay relationship.
And I'm not gonna keep boring you with details here, but similar to how Pokimane didn't immediately fire that guy because she like felt bad for him or was like a little afraid of what might happen or whatever. It's easy to take a step back when you're not involved in it and just be like, oh, this is what you should have done. But when you're actually in one of these like really weird fucking situations on like a personal level here, it's just a little harder to do that. So I do understand that, but again, definitely the right course was firing that guy. In my situation, eventually what I did was I just stopped responding. If he did send me one of those messages, I would reply just telling him he needs professional help, and I won't talk further about these kind of things with him because I am not a professional. I'm not equipped to deal with that or handle that or help him in any way. He needs real help. And that would be how I'd respond to those messages when he sent them and he eventually stopped. But that went on for a long time. But yeah, anyway, just kind of wanted to talk about all this. That's about it. See ya.
Yeah, nah. Don't send me no shit like that. I'm gonna tell you to do it. Cause fuck you.